Hi, my name is Lorena Curvis de Leon, and today I'm going to be doing my persuasive speech on corporal punishment. First, I'm going to show you my audience of 5. I remember from about 1983 to 1991, I lived almost every day in fear of my mother. I remember one specific day, I came home from playing outside after having done my chores to a very angry mother. As far as I knew, I had done my homework, I had done my chores, and I was just coming home to have dinner. She hit me so many times that day with whatever she can find, whatever she can get in her hands. And what was the reason? I had washed the dishes, I had dried the dishes that she had asked me to do. However, I had not dried them good enough to her liking. This continued for years. If I brought home a bad grade, if I didn't clean my room the way she liked, but I had done it. I had no desire after time went by to have any kind of relationship with my mother because of this. I didn't have that mother-daughter bond that you need as an adolescent growing up, especially when I needed her through my adolescent years. Because of this, I vowed to myself that when I have children, I would not punish them and discipline them in a physical way. I do believe that children absolutely should be disciplined, but not in a physically abusive way. UNICEF says around 6 in 10 children between the ages of 2 and 14 worldwide are subjected to physical punishment by their caregiver or parents on a regular basis. Growing up, I was hit on a regular basis, and I lived in fear because of this. My teenage years through adulthood, my anger escalated to the points where it was very hard to control. I would get so angry at times that it was hard for me to come back down to a regular level and to be able to continue on with my day. I decided to not ever discipline my own kids physically, but rather in ways that did not involve abuse. The American Psychological Association says many studies have shown that physical punishment, which includes spanking, hitting, and other means of causing pain, can lead to increased aggression, antisocial behaviors, physical injury, and mental health problems for children. First, I will discuss the problem of the controversial topic of corporal punishment. Next, I will talk about what the effects of corporal punishment are. And finally, how this problem can be solved and what alternate solutions there are that we can entertain to discipline our children in a more productive and safe way. The definition of corporal punishment is when a person of authority uses physical force with the intention of causing pain for disciplinary purposes. Corporal punishment of children usually includes things like smacking, slapping, spanking, beating with a hand or an item, stick or belt. It can also be kicking, shaking, pinching, and sadly even burning. Corporal punishment can mislead children into thinking that it is okay to use violence against a loved one. In many cases, this is where domestic violence cases come in. Is this because of the aggressive disciplining that a man or a woman had at a young age, which causes them to think that as an older adult, they can put their hand on their spouse, on their boyfriend, girlfriend, a friend? Corporal punishment can ruin a relationship and trust between a parent and a child. As in my case, children need to know that they can confide in their parent with whatever they need and not have to be in fear that they're going to get hit because the parent doesn't like what they're hearing. This is very important in the adolescent years as the children are preparing to become an adult. You need that person to talk to. You need that peer relationship within your parents to be able to talk to that person. UNICEF says the consequences of violent discipline range from immediate to long-term damage that children carry well into adulthood. The American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry says parents who were physically punished as kids are more likely to physically punish their own kids. Aggression later in life. Corporal punishment makes children more aggressive towards other children as well. The American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry says physical methods of discipline can cause the following: for a child to bully other children, for a child to injure other children, and in extreme cases, the death of a child. Children who are exposed to violent discipline are more likely to be violent as adults. Researchers at Columbia University say children who get spanked as early as age 5 have demonstrated more aggressive tendencies by the time that they are the age of 9. An article in Law Now has documented negative effects due to corporal punishment that reach into adulthood are mental health problems, criminal behaviors, and aggression towards others. Some solutions to bad behavior that do not involve physical abuse are timeouts in younger children. This can help them learn what they did wrong. Sometimes younger children become overexcited, and this can lead to bad behaviors. It can be effective to take a child to a quiet room and calm them down and think about what they did wrong. It is recommended to put a child at a younger age on timeout, however long their age is. For example, if a child is 1 year old, to put them on timeout for 1 minute. If they are 2 years old, 2 minutes, and so forth. With older kids, a good solution would be to take their privileges away, such as TV, video games, and time with friends. It is important for children to take responsibility for their actions. With older kids, an example would be if they break something, he or she must fix it or replace it with their own money. All of these solutions are different things you can do, and there are so many other ones, without having to lay your hand on a child. And many of these solutions have worked, and I have done them myself. Today I spoke about corporal punishment and how it affects children as young as 2 years old through adulthood, and the negative effects it can have. Rather than disciplining children physically, we can teach kids time out. We can teach older kids that there's consequences, that their privileges will be revoked, such as video games, TV, and such. I have had to live with a sad and traumatizing memory of discipline in an incorrect and abusive way. We can all help make a change and teach morals and discipline without physical abuse, but rather in a calm, educational manner that will stay with children through adulthood in a positive way and not in a negative way.